Ever since I was young, I was always running around. My parents would always tell me I would just be running in the hallways, all kinds of stuff. I think one of the first things I ever got as a child was a football, and I was just really into it. My dad did it and coached it, and I wanted to take part in that as well. Carried on playing football for I don't know how many years after that. Still carried on doing it and everything like that. As I got older and I got to see more of like what the academy system is like and how things work, I just didn't really like it anymore. I wasn't really enjoying it in the same way. And this is around the same time that in school, in the summertime, they do athletics. I think initially I wasn't really on it. I didn't really want to do it. And the next thing you know, I'm running races, I'm winning races. The times are pretty decent, and I've enjoyed every second of it so far to this point.
What would you say are the biggest lessons that you've learned throughout the past few years?
I would say being patient and taking my time. Before, if I'd lose a race, I'd get so down. It's so like, oh, I can't believe I lost. Oh my goodness, like, oh, the world's come crashing down. And it's not that, you know. You have to be able to learn to lose so that you can learn how to win. The first time I went to English schools, I didn't enjoy it as much as I should have. I put way too much pressure on myself. I was able to have some success in that competition that year. I just really didn't enjoy the experience of it enough. I was just putting so much pressure on myself. I kind of like closed myself off. I've kind of learned to enjoy it, and no matter what competition I go to, I don't put any pressure on myself. I just want to have fun and enjoy it. You know, it's a blessing to be on that track and use my gift for God's glory. Make other people who are around me or see me or interact with me, make them smile or like have a positive impact on them. You never know what kind of feelings people are on. I just want to enjoy the experience, have fun, and just do the best that I absolutely can, you know, and that's all I can really do.
Hello to everyone that's watching. Today, we are joined by a very, very special guest. We are with Destiny Ogali, who is a sprint athlete, and he competes in the 60 meters, 100 meters, and 200 meters. And he has competed with Dacorum Athletics Club as well as Harrow Athletics Club. He is a phenomenal athlete, so much so that in 2021, he was recognised for his efforts by the Lloyd Cowan Bursary. And he's not only a great athlete, but he's also a very good friend to us here at Neuff as well. So Destiny, hello.
Hey guys, what's up?
Lovely to speak to you. Tell me, Destiny, take me back to your beginnings in sprinting, because I know you grew up in the States. You also did a bit of football. So how did you come to specialise in sprinting? How did you get to where you are today?
Ever since I was young, I was always running around. My parents would always tell me I would just be running in the hallways, all kinds of stuff. Just running. I was just very active. I just wanted to run, you know, all kinds of stuff, you know. We were in the States. My dad was coaching football, not American football, actual football, like English football, over there in the States. So I would go to their training sessions and things like that. And I would just always be running around. And I think one of the first things I ever got as a child was a football, and I was just really into it. My dad did it and coached it, and I wanted to take part in that as well. And he used to coach me up and train me. So from a young age, I've always been training. My dad would train me. I'd come back from school and we'd go and train. Or when he was coaching the older kids, I'd come along and watch. Or sometimes I would join in, and that was just really, really fun. So I'd always been exposed to training in one way or another. It was just really, really fun. Used to play matches on weekends. We'd all go. The whole family would come and support. My sister even played as well. So it was a whole family thing. And I absolutely loved it. And then we moved back over here because I was born in the UK, but I lived over there for the first like 8, 9 years of my life. I was in the States. But I didn't actually know that I was English. It was kind of like just before we were going to move, my parents decided to tell me, "Oh, you're English. You were actually born in England." I had no idea. So I didn't know what to expect. You come and you're going from a same language speaking country, but completely different in terms of like how they do things, how everything operates. So yeah, move over to England, carried on playing football for I don't know how many years after that. Still carried on doing it and everything like that. I loved it. That was what I really wanted to do. I wanted to be a professional football player, and I had different opportunities playing, training with academies and having opportunities and things like that. And it was really, really, really fun. Got to meet new people, make friends, and the opportunities that sports brings is just absolutely fantastic. And then I kind of as I got older and I got to see more of like what the academy system is like and how things work, I just didn't really like it anymore. I wasn't really enjoying it in the same way. And this is around the same time that in school, in the summertime, they do athletics. And because I guess I was known for being quick on the pitch, my PE teachers naturally would come and ask me if I wanted to do the 100 meters. And I think initially I wasn't really on it. I didn't really want to do it. I had in my mind that, oh, I'm a footballer. I want to play football. I don't really want to do that. And then after a while, I kind of gave in because I thought, okay, if they think I'm fast and they think I can do it, why not give it a go? I went up there and I did it. So nervous, just you never know how it's going to go. I ended up winning these races, and then once you get that feeling of winning, it's just like, oh wow, this is great. I want to do this again. I want to see if I can do this again. Can I replicate it? And the next thing you know, I'm running races, I'm winning races. The times are pretty decent, and I'm having fun with it. And friends would come along and support and watch, and it was actually really cool. Like anytime there's a school comp after school, everyone would come and watch and support, and just in and around town, people would sort of notice or realize, oh, this person's running, or this person, these two people are going to race each other, because people know who's kind of quick in the area. So when the two are going to come together, because the schools race against each other, it makes for a good competition. So people turn up. We also had district schools where all the schools in sort of our district area will come and compete against each other. So then friends from other schools are all going to be together at the same time all day, and you're going to be racing against people, and it builds up the hype. And it was just so fun to be a part of. I also enjoyed relay. I've always loved relay because me and our team for our school team was always really, really good. And we took it really seriously. Not a lot of the other schools took it seriously, but we really wanted to win. And we managed to do that. And from then on, it kind of got to a point where my PE teachers, more specifically my form tutor, Miss Trainer at the time, so shout out to her, absolutely amazing. The way she supported me and helped me, and just absolutely been a blessing to my life for sure. She kind of just said to me, her along with some of the others in the my school PE department, just kind of said to me, why don't you go down to the club and train? Why don't you take this up? You know, you've got the talent to do this. Why not just go and see? And again, I was so apprehensive. I wasn't really trying to do it. I still had in the back of my mind, oh, I want to be a footballer. I don't really want to run track. Like, what is it? How does it work? All that kind of stuff. And I wouldn't have gone on my own. Absolutely not. I didn't even go. The first time I stepped foot on that track to go and train, I went with a friend of mine at the time. We both went up there together to go and train. There's a tier system in terms of how my club were working at the time. They had these different groups, like 3 different sprint groups. So I started off in like not the lowest level group, but the initial group, because I didn't know anything about sprinting. So I had to learn what drills are, strides are, all that kind of stuff. Wasn't sure what to expect or what training looks like at all. Went there, kind of just had to work my way up over the year or years to come, and I really was motivated to get into the top group, the quickest group, with the athletes that had been training for quite a long time. And once I was able, because I would see them training, and I would see um, other athletes training as well. We had a really great athlete called Philippa Lowe, who's competed internationally for the GB senior team as well for the 400 meters. She trained at my club at the time, so when I would come to train and I'd see her training, doing a 300s or 250s, whatever it was, I used to think, I want to be able to run like that. I want to be able to do that, because she's such a smooth, relaxed, just a beautiful runner in terms of how she runs. And I'd watch her and her training partners and what they were doing. I was like, wow, I really want to be able to run like that. And there's also a history of all these other athletes that have come out of my club, and I was like, wow, I want to be able to achieve something too. So the competitiveness in me just kind of like went on from there. Seeing the different people in the group, I was not the fastest at all, not at all. I used to get absolutely destroyed in the reps. I was getting smoked, and I just kind of thought to myself, okay, let's just stick at it and keep going. And that's what we did. We enjoyed it. Everything about it has changed massively, but everything I learned from there is what really pushed me on. I didn't know what English schools was. I didn't know what nationals was. Didn't know what a call room was. None of that stuff. It was all very new and very alien to me, and I had to learn how everything works. And it's been such a fun journey, and I've learned so much. And I've had a few different coaches, but I've always trained at the same place. I've never trained anywhere else ever since I started track, and I've enjoyed every second of it so far to this point.
It is a really interesting journey you've had from the get-go, really, because I
Yeah.
didn't realize that you'd been in the States for that many years, and I didn't realize you had a bit of a nationality crisis either, based on what you told me.
Yes, absolutely.
But it makes sense though, because I suppose some people think that the US and the UK are quite similar, but where athletics and sports are concerned, it really isn't. In the US, you've got the NCAA, and then in the UK, you've got the Buck system, and they are 2 completely different systems, the way they operate and the way things are in terms of culture and all that sort of stuff. You've had
Yeah.
you've had quite the experience, really, haven't you, where track is concerned, which kind of leads into my next question, which is, what would you say are the biggest lessons that you've learned throughout the past few years in your athletics, and how has it helped you develop as an athlete, would you say?
I would say being patient and taking my time,
Mm-hmm.
enjoying it, and embracing failure.
Okay.
because I think being patient, meaning like, you want to win straight away, and you do the training and you think that in that moment that you deserve to win, and that you should win, and that you've done this, so that means you're going to win. Like, it doesn't work like that. When I never really understood how the age group system worked. And this was while I was in it. This was like in like 2018. I still didn't understand how the age group system really worked, like being an under 20 or an under 23 or an under 17, and how many years you get, because it's all based off of what month that you're born in and all this kind of stuff. So I didn't really understand that, like, when you go into a new age group and you're one of the youngest ones in that age group, like if you're a first year under 20 and then you have third year under 20s, you aren't necessarily, it doesn't mean that you can't, but you aren't necessarily expected to be the best because you are the youngest. You're coming from the bottom age group and you're coming into an older age group where there's people that are older than you, that have trained for longer. I didn't really understand that prospect. So back then, when I used to look at Power and 10 and check my rankings and see these amount of people ahead of me, I'm thinking, wait, what? I'm doing everything I think I should be. Like, why am I not at the top? And I just didn't really understand that there's a process that everyone goes through. Everyone goes through that same thing of changing age groups and losing races or things not going the way that you want it to. And I really had to learn to be patient, and that's really helped me a lot now as to where I am. Enjoying it as well. I can really say that the first time I went to English schools, I didn't enjoy it as much as I should have. I put way too much pressure on myself. I didn't get to enjoy the overall experience. It was nothing like I'd ever done before. I'd never done it before, and I didn't enjoy it as much as I should have. Even though I was able to have some success in that competition that year, I just really didn't enjoy the experience of it enough. I was just putting so much pressure on myself. I kind of like closed myself off massively, and I wasn't able to really soak in the experience. So I've kind of learned to enjoy it, and no matter what competition I go to, I don't put any pressure on myself. I just want to have fun and enjoy it. Training is the difficult part, and the competition should be the fun part. You're doing something you enjoy. No one is forcing me to do this. It's something that I enjoy and that I want to do. So I should be able to just go out there and have fun and enjoy it. It's a blessing to be able to be on that track and use my gift for God's glory, and to have fun in the process of it, and do whatever I can to make other people who are around me or see me or interact with me, make them smile, or like have a positive impact on them. You never know what kind of feelings people are on a day-to-day basis, as well as at a competition. Some people are nervous, some people don't even really want to compete, whatever it is. But I just want that if they see me, if they come across me, that I can just do something that will make them happy to be there, and to want to feel comfortable in that environment. I'm not trying to mean mug anyone, I'm not trying to intimidate anybody. I just want to enjoy the experience, have fun, and just do the best that I absolutely can, and that's all I can really do. And then the final one I think said was embracing losing, failure. Yeah. Before, if I'd lose a race, I'd get so down. It's so like, oh, I can't believe I lost. Oh my goodness, like, oh, the world's come crashing down. And it's not that, you have to be able to learn to lose so that you can learn how to win. I want to be able to embrace mistakes. I look forward to making mistakes and getting things wrong, because then I can learn from them. I can take that experience and I can turn it into, okay, I got that wrong. How can we make this better? And the process of doing that, it refines my character as well. It's not just about track, but me as an individual, as a man. Like, how am I able to grow through this? So just embracing failure and losing, and on various stages, but it could be a local level, in a national level, international level, just making mistakes, growing from them, not taking myself or the sport too seriously, because it's sport. It's something that should be able to bring people together from all different walks of life, backgrounds, whatever it may be, and we come together for a common goal to be the best we can. So just embracing that side of failure and understanding that it's a part of life, not just sport.
I totally understand where you're coming from, because that's kind of what myself and everyone else I work with here at Neuff tried to get across to athletes, that obviously, yes, you want to improve in your athletics and you want to reach the top of your game, but essentially it is all just about enjoying the experience and just making the most out of your time as a young up and coming athlete. And like you said, even if you lose some things, you can just take that as a lesson and you can learn from that. So yeah, that's a brilliant attitude to have.
Thank you.
So you're obviously a blogger for us as well. And because you've had all of these experiences, you put it into blogs for us, you put it into podcasts for us, in collaboration with the Visions podcast with your co-host JT as well.
Yeah.
So what do you, I suppose what I'm trying to ask is, what do you hope these athletes that will be watching, listening, or reading your pieces, what do you hope that they will ultimately take away from the advice that you give them?
Just for them to be able to learn. Each individual is different, so they'd be able to. They may not resonate or take away everything from what I've said, but they might take small key bits of it, and they get that moment where they're like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh, that's interesting. He does it that way. I do it this way," and then they can go away and talk to a family member, or a friend, or their coach, and they can discuss it, and they can see and try and find what works best for them. I want people to feel like they can ask me questions. I don't care how good I am or what I achieve or how many medals I win or none of that stuff. I want people to be able to feel comfortable to be able to approach me and ask questions or want to find out whatever it is they want to know, not even just about track, about life, about my faith, whatever it may be. I want people to feel comfortable. So when I put these things out, I want people to be able to learn a little bit about me and the way I do things, and then for me to be able to express the things that have helped me and from what I know, because I'm still learning, and I want them to be able to take away something from it so that it can be of any use or any benefit to them. You know, I don't ever want to feel like I'm someone that is unreachable, someone that is too big for their boots or anything like that. No, even if I'm at a competition, if I'm able to, I'll be able to. I want to communicate. I want to, if I can help, like whatever it is that I can do. I've been helped by so many people in my life and in track, and I'm so grateful to each and every one of them. And if I can do the same thing and help someone else that is coming up or whatever level that they're at, I want to do it, because everything just takes time. It's a process. It doesn't matter if you're at county level or county schools level, you're a beginner, you're just starting out, or you're elite or the best of the best. We can all learn, and we can all learn from each other. And that's what I want to do, just to be able to help.
Absolutely. And your blogs have been getting great feedback as well. We've had some really good comments saying that it's really helped them. I mean, you've done pieces on all sorts. You've done pieces on warm weather training when you were in Cyprus, and you mentioned that a little bit earlier as well. You've done stuff on plyometrics, nutrition. And yeah, it's just really good for you to be able to share your knowledge with that community who might not have necessarily had that knowledge beforehand. So yeah, it's really good to have you on the team because you've obviously had that knowledge from your experience from the past few years of competing and training. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really great to have you on board for that reason. So it's awesome to have your input.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's awesome to be a part of it. I'm absolutely loving it for sure.
Awesome. What was it like to get into this particular competition season? Because obviously you've been doing a lot of training beforehand. What was that process like? What was the journey like for you to get to your first few competitions this year?
To tell the truth, it's been very difficult. So I went on warm weather training in January. It was amazing. Went with England Athletics, had a great time, met some new people, got to train with all sorts of different people, different groups, people from different events. It was absolutely amazing. The weather was great. The hotel was right next to the beach. Like, it was absolutely fantastic. Had a great training camp and everything. And then on the day before we leave, I'm doing a session and I was doing a run, and I feel my hamstring, and it didn't like athletes will understand what I mean when I say it didn't go in the sense that it stopped me from running. I stopped myself. Like, I felt the pain, and I could tell that if I'd carried on going, it was going to make it so much worse. So there's like a video of it because that run was being videoed. I remember looking at it. I just kind of gradually started to slow myself down, and it literally happened in probably the last 20 meters of the run. So the that kind of put everything, it made things a bit more difficult because once I was coming back, I was going to run indoors. I had some races lined up. Me and my coach were going to plan what ones we were going to do. Then I spoke to the physio that was there, and I was going to be out for about maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it was going to be. It ended up taking a little bit, not longer, but it took a while because we needed to do some preparations in relation to it. So we ended up having to scrap that race, and then we actually made the decision to then leave indoors as a whole, because if I wasn't going to do that initial race, it wouldn't have made sense for me to do any other race because everything was going to build up for I believe it was the European indoors that took place this year. Yeah, it was going to lead up to trying to qualify for that, British indoors, all that sort of thing. But we weren't really ready in time, so we thought, okay, let's just leave it be and then go back into training and get ready for outdoors. And then I pick up another niggle again in the hamstring, and it puts me back out again. And we were gonna open up in April, and again we have to push that back because we were just simply just unable to. We weren't really healthy at the time. We needed to go back and put some more training in. So it kind of ruined our plans. So the initial plans, I would have had an indoors and I would have raced in April, but it didn't happen. But I think I really believe everything like that happens for a reason. It was able to go back into training, get some things worked on, really sort my body out. And then we were able to open up at the Loughborough International. And funnily enough, this is the same place that I opened up my season last year, at the Loughborough International as well. And it was completely unplanned. That was planned, but this wasn't planned. It just so happened to be the meet that we managed to get into.
Ah, okay, yeah, because that's right, because you have been on quite a journey. Because I remember you having these conversations with me a few months ago, saying how you were going to go indoors, and then due to circumstances that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's right. You have been quite on the journey. Also, what I've noticed with you since you've been on board with us here at Neuff is how down to earth and just how positive you are as a human being. Would you say that influences you when it comes to your performances with your races? Do you think your positive attitude has an effect on your on your performances?
Yeah, I think I've gone through a massive journey of like me as an individual and as like a man. I think I spent quite a lot of time. This is ever since COVID. I kind of went on a journey of like, I grew up kind of being a Christian and being raised in sort of a Christian household with like my parents and everything like that, going to church, all that kind of thing. But I kind of realized I wasn't really, I wasn't living in a manner that was a representative of what I claimed to believe. And so once 2020 hit, I was able to spend a lot more time like reading the word, reading my Bible, and I kind of was able to learn a lot more about myself and all the areas of myself and of my life and the way in which I was behaving and things that I was doing. I was able to get those things addressed and I was able to work those things out, spend more time in prayer, and then kind of like as I was able to learn more things and God was able to reveal things to me, I was able to just allow him to kind of work through me and to show me these things, and I was able to make these adjustments, and then as a result of it people are seeing the fruit of that. And I think it's something that I'm going to continue to do because I want to have an impact on people where wherever I go and whenever I do, they're able to kind of just see the light of Christ, and I want to be able to, it doesn't matter whether I'm competing or I'm training or whatever it is. I want people to leave, have a conversation with me or an environment with me, and they kind of have that feeling that okay, I felt good in that conversation. Like that was nice. That was a great experience, and whatever it is that else that they may say, because in a world filled with all sorts of different things that are happening and that are going on. When people come to a race or a competition, they should be made to feel comfortable. As much as we may be competing against each other and we're trying to win, and it's a competitive environment, that's no need to kind of be horrible or nasty or to make people feel like they don't belong or that they don't deserve to be there or just not acknowledging their existence. In the past, like I was saying before, I used to have a very different approach to competition. I was very stoic and I wouldn't even talk to anybody or even look at anybody. But um, I, that's all changed now, and I'm really blessed to be in the position that I'm in now. And just it's not something that is going to change. It doesn't matter if I'm at the Olympics or the Worlds, the Europeans, or just a local level meet. Just carrying that and continuing to do that, and I'm really, really enjoying it, and it makes it all so much more fun and so much more enjoyable for sure.
Absolutely. I think where COVID is concerned, I think I can imagine, at least anyway, for a lot of athletes, a lot of people would have lost a lot of confidence over that time period because obviously their training routine would have changed dramatically, and with no competitions, no anything going on. I can only imagine, how hard that must have been. And it must have been, it must have been a time for so many athletes like yourself to reflect on what it is that's important when it comes
Yeah,
to your athletics. So,
yeah,
yeah, I can totally understand what you're saying there. Really nice to see as well that you have such a positive outlook on it, and it's obviously doing you the world of good where your sprinting is concerned. So it's awesome to see.
yeah. That was a very weird, crazy time. It's weird. Things didn't change all that much for me, but it definitely gave me a lot of time to think and reflect, sort of like you said, and then I get my priorities in a line and everything like that. And yeah, very weird time. But yeah, like you said, people are coming out of it now. People are getting competing again. People are producing performances now that they hadn't done either prior to that point or were just coming off of the back of doing, and then now they're kind of continuing it on, and that's always so great to see.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you're currently competing with Harrow AC at the moment. What's it like working with that club? Because I know you worked with, or sorry, you competed with the Dacorum Athletics Club previously, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
So yeah, what's it like working with Harrow Athletics Club?
They are absolutely amazing. Like the support staff they have there, everything that they do, they really put the athletes first. They make you feel as if you're important and that you're a professional athlete. Um, I'm sure they wouldn't mind me mentioning their names, the likes of Rohan Samuel and Tony Bush, who I work with directly. They are just absolutely fantastic. I'm able to have great conversations with the both of them. They really understand what is going on. They keep communication. They ask me how training is going. They ask me how everything's going, how my races are going. They keep track on me. Even if I don't mention to them and tell them that I'm racing, they seem to know and they'll send me a message. And it's just fantastic. They make the athletes feel so comfortable. We've done a lot of recruiting in the off season, and there's loads of new people that are coming in, and it feels a lot more like a family. And I'm really, really, really enjoying it. Everything they put on, everything that they're doing, everything that they're trying to do and trying to achieve, it's just fantastic. They want to win, but they also want the values that they have instilled. Like they have such great communication, and I really, really love it. They put so much effort into this, and they really, really care not just about performances, but about the athletes themselves. They get to know you. They develop an understanding, and it really, really is amazing. And I've just now, this is my first season being first claim, just attached to one club, with it being Harrow. And every time I've put the vest on, since the first time I put it on, I've raced in it 3 times now, and I've just absolutely loved it. It just feels right, and it's really, really comfortable, and I just love it. And I've said it to Rohan. I've been like, Rohan, I'm loving this. I really love the vest. I'm loving everything about it. They're really great. And honestly, I'm really, really enjoying my time being with them. It definitely feels right.
So, and I love as well how you said that it feels like a family as well, which is what
Yeah.
I've noticed with a lot of athletics clubs and just athletics in general, is that all the clubs that I've interacted with, all the athletes I've interacted with, all seem to say a similar sort of thing, which is that whatever club they are with, it really is that family atmosphere that they have there, and it's just yeah, it's really nice to see, and obviously, of course, not to discredit the Dacorum Athletics Club as well, because you were with them for quite a long time, weren't you?
Yeah, no, they were so pivotal in my development as an athlete as well as a person. They were absolutely brilliant. Everything that we were able to do and able to achieve, it was just absolutely fantastic. From the coaching to the environment that was created to the training groups that we had, like it was just amazing. All these great athletes from different distances and events coming together, and we were able to train together, create a really, really great environment. It was fantastic. My first coach, I had a Summer Clark coached me. Then it went on to Gavin Town, and then his daughter took over. Danny Town, she coached me as well. All of them have just been so pivotal to my development. All of them have just been amazing. The experiences I've had with Dacorum were absolutely fantastic. They will always have a massive impact upon what I do and what I have been doing and the opportunities that I've had. So absolutely grateful to them for sure.
That's really, really good to hear. Spoken about your past experiences. We've spoken about your journey to where you are now. So I'm going to talk about the future now. So what
Yeah.
do you think lies ahead for you, or what would you like to achieve in the future?
Um, I think for me, it's getting better. I want to just continue to learn and get better. And I think the opportunities, times, all that other stuff will come. But for me, the focus has always been on the training, being able to improve myself on the track as well as off the track. And I think everything else will come because that's just kind of how the way it's worked for me and how I've understood it to be. I I've just always tried to invest the time into the training, and then everything else kind of came with it, the competitions, the meets, the experiences, whatever it may be. But also, I think the emphasis for me is when I get to these places and do these different things, I want to enjoy them. I want to enjoy going to the Olympics and winning a medal, winning a gold medal, winning multiple gold medals. I want to enjoy going to the Europeans, to the Commonwealth Games, to the World Championships, to the whatever meet it is, the British Championships. I want to enjoy all of these things. And for as long as I'm in the sport, I want to continue to enjoy them and just continuously, each and every time, just putting more and more emphasis upon the details because those are the things that are kind of going to separate you from other people. So I think in the future, it's going to be me just taking more of those steps to improving on the track in training, and then everything else will kind of follow. And I kind of now understand that a lot better. So each day when I'm able to go there and do whatever it is that I need to do, I understand that it's just one day closer to getting to wherever it is that we need to be. And then whatever situation I'm in every given year, whatever the championships is, just being able to approach that championships, being healthy first and foremost, And then, like I said, just kind of enjoying it from there, knowing that whatever training that we've put in, we're going to be in the best place possible to go there and compete and win.
Definitely. And it goes back to what you said before as well. It's all about that process, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's all about being happy in yourself and being happy with where you are with your sprinting. So yeah, not necessarily about whether you get a podium placement, not necessarily about how high you rank in any competitions. It really is just about being happy within yourself. And it seems like you're doing really well on that journey. So yeah, it can only get better from here. So
thank you so much. Absolutely, for sure.
and finally, Destiny, just a quick question. With the blogs, and we spoke about this briefly before as well, um, because there's so much information that you give to our followers and to all the athletes in the UK and beyond. But if you had to narrow it down to one specific piece of advice, whether that's for sprint athletes or any athletes, what vital piece of information or vital piece of advice would you like to give to people?
I'm going to cheat this a little bit and I'm going to give two, if that's
Oh,
okay.
go on then.
I've got two
Go on.
pieces. Two. First one, have fun. Enjoy what it is that you do, whether it's training or a competition. Go there and enjoy it. Have fun. Speak to people. Have good communication with your coach as well as with your peers and with your training partners. Get to know your training partners because they're there to not only get better for themselves, but they'll be a massive part in you getting better. So develop a good relationship, good working relationships with the people around you. Communicate your goals and what it is that you want to achieve. Find out what it is that you need to do, and then continue to go on that journey, but have fun in every aspect of that. Enjoy it. And the other one would be pay attention to the details. In a sport like in track and field, specifically in sprinting, there's so many components that make up like a good sprint start or a good race, and you often hear about execution and the different phases within a race. So pay attention to the small things like how you do your drills and what drills you're doing. Ask the questions as to why I'm doing these drills. Everything should you should just try and aim to be someone that cares about all the different parts of your performance, and then it will kind of help the overall process. Like just don't skip the small things. I would say massively. Just pay attention to the small little details. That's how it worked for me massively, and I'm just kind of trying to continue that on really. But definitely pay attention to the small things. And if you have questions as an athlete, definitely ask. It may not necessarily be me, but please feel free to send me a message whenever about anything. I'm happy to talk, or just to anyone or to anything else. If you have questions, if you have things that you want to know, ask for sure. That's how I've always been. I ask so many questions. My coach definitely knows this as well as the people around me. I love to find out information. So be someone that desires to want to know more and take that information and run with it.
Absolutely. We really appreciate your input. We really appreciate the support that you give to the whole athletics community. And yeah, we can't wait to see what lies ahead for you. Thank you so much for joining us today, Destiny. And pleasure as always to speak to you. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what's next for you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.